Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good afternoon, Freedom Marchers, Freedom Family, Freedom Lovers, and Freedom Fighters. Snapzilla Gorillas in the building, hitting y'all with this quick live stream where I will not be going very long, and I don't need to because this situation is pretty much cut and dry, y'all. Tonka Truck Davis has concerns about Jake Paul being on performance-enhancing drugs. Yeah, Tonka Truck Davis. Tonka Truck Davis, who defended racist, known, dirty popped, drug cheat Ryan Garcia. That very Tonka Truck Davis, who defended Ryan Garcia to the ends of the earth, said that he was happy and excited every time Ryan Garcia dropped Devin Haney in their bout. Has concerns about Jake Paul being on performance-enhancing drugs. Well, guess what? I don't give a shit. I don't care. If Jake Paul knocks out Tonka Truck Davis, flatlines him, and is discovered to have been on performance-enhancing drugs, I will not give a shit. I won't defend Tonka Truck Davis. I will not stand up for him. I will not give him code courtesy. Well, Snapzilla Gorilla, why would you do that? Because Tonka Truck Davis has already shown who he truly is. He don't give a shit about black folks. He didn't give a shit about Devin when Ryan Garcia went on a racist rant after popping dirty. Didn't give a shit. Was later asked about the situation, and he still defended Ryan Garcia and came up with conspiracy theories as to why Ryan Garcia popped dirty. At the end of the day, for me, it's Funk Tonka Truck Davis forever. He has given himself over as a coon. Yes, Tonka Truck Davis is a coon. He is a tap dancing porch monkey. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't give a fuck what happens to him, to be honest with y'all. Now you want to complain and be concerned about performance-enhancing drugs. You won't get no support this way. You see, Queen Sister, Queen Mother Shaquila, good afternoon to you. Thank you for stopping by. Listen, I take the Harriet Tubman approach when it comes to these yellow belly coons. I put that thing on their back. No pause. I put the shotty on the back. Do you know why Harriet Tubman was successful in freeing so many slaves? Because, salute to Coach Hussey. Good afternoon to you, brother. Because when Harriet Tubman was so successful, because of many reasons, but one of those very reasons is because whenever a slave she was trying to help free decided that they wanted to turn their back and go back to their master, she laid them to rest. That, not literally what Harriet Tubman did, but when it was coon out and showed no remorse, show that they don't any contrition about what they have done, like the coon Sean Davis, the coon that has done, Richard Coon, Richard Coon's lynchings. That, no, you don't get no quarter over here. So when you have, like, Rampage Jackson had his moment, to race the drug Ryan Garcia, and said he didn't give a fuck about why people were mad at him, guess what? He turned his back on his people. He gets no cold courtesy at all whatsoever ever again in life. This is how we have to carry this shit. This is how we have to carry it. When these dudes sell out for millions of dollars and coon out, it's fuck them forever. Unless they make some great sacrifice to show they saw the error of their ways. And usually that sacrifice means that they have lost something. Standing up for what's right. The turncoat that set Fred Hampton Jr. up to get murdered by the police in Chicago. You remember him? Fred Hampton Jr. just like his father. And because we were at a retreat, this is what I was running with some pro-black hoteps, is what I'll say. I'll just say that. We went to a retreat. We went out to sovereign land owned by some indigenous brothers and sisters. They invited us out there. A whole bunch of people. He and Fred Hampton Jr. was there with some new Black Panther Party members. And I asked him straight up, would you ever forgive the man that set your father up? And it wasn't just me asking this question. It was a group of us, the group I was running with. We asked the question. Because we were talking about how important it was to treat these individuals the proper way. He said, hell no. He would never forgive. Never forgive him. Never forgive them. Never forgive that fucking douchebag. Well, Gervonta Tonka Truck Davis did not set Devin Haney up. Right? He didn't sell him out to get murked. But he is just the type of person that would do that. And we should not wait for these goddamn coons to go there to deal with them in the proper manner. Right? And in this day and age is, well, when he goes up against the Jake Paul, who he believes is a drug cheat, and it's discovered that he actually is, you think I'm gonna go to bat for this motherfucker? You think I'm gonna go in on Jake Paul for this asshat? Absolutely not. Salute to Brother Sheldon in the building. Tonka Truck Davis should never get cold courtesy from the people ever again. He has given that up. Thomas TD, salute to you. What's good, brother? Salute to you. Now, drug cheating in the sport of boxing is abhorrent in general. So in that regard, we will go in on Jake Paul simply for being a drug cheat in the sport of boxing. Because that is also important. It's also important to convey the message of drug cheating not being accepted in the sport of boxing. So yes, in that regard, yeah, we should go in on Jake Paul. We should go in on anybody that uses performance-enhancing drugs. Absolutely. But not on the behalf of someone like Tonka Truck Davis, who puts out a tweet towards Jake Paul, essentially threatening him if he finds out that he pops dirty. Now, I don't know what level of testing is being done for this fight, but He had that same energy for Ryan Garcia, didn't he? Didn't he say that same thing to Ryan Garcia? He said, if the A sample comes back dirty, then I'm going to smack you when I see you. And when he saw Ryan Garcia, who cheated his brother, who cheated his fellow Muslim, his Aki, what did he do? He embraced this motherfucker. There's no forgiveness for a cat like Tonka Truck Davis. He's the cat that will break up the next Black Panther Party. He will lead to that. He will be the leader of the US organization. If you guys aren't familiar with that, you should look it up. Dr. Morali Karenga, the inventor of Kwanzaa, he was an FBI informant. He was a federal informant. He was instrumental in the death of Bumpy Carter and other Black Panther Party members in California. He did a lot of damage. Yeah. Y'all should look that up. Y'all should look that up. The US organization, who had a rivalry with the Black Panther Party for whatever reason. Why are we having rivalries amongst black groups that are trying to improve the condition of their people in this country? Why is there a rivalry? See, he yeah, that's a long history there. The Black Panther Party, yeah, did they allow the infiltration of the others into the group? Could that have possibly led to some of the dismantling of the group? Sure. But who is most instrumental in tearing down the Black Panther Party? Black folks. This same group that can y'all still read me? This same group I told y'all about, the Hotep group that I was running with, we got infiltrated. Yes, sir. Salute to you, Coach Hudson. I appreciate that. Thank you. The group I was running with, they got infiltrated by an Asian provocateur. Absolutely. Now, I had broken away from the group by the time he did any real damage, because I saw that the direction this group was going in wasn't in the right direction. All they wanted to do was talk and spit poetry. That's all they wanted to do. They wanted to do speaking tours at colleges. And I'm asking the question, I'm like, what else are we doing? Are we training? Are we training with weapons? Are we doing this? Are we going to try to buy some land? What are we doing? What are we doing beyond PGH Big Dog? Salute to you. Good morning. Good afternoon. What are we doing besides talking and spitting poetry? Because see, I've never been an orator, right? We had a guy in the group, hell of an orator, spit the most fire spoken word that you could ever hear in your life. Some of the most awe-inspiring. He was a fucking wordsmith, but that's all he was. And you know, you need that. You need that, because they're the ones who motivate and elevate everyone else around them. They're the ones that give the pep talks and encourage people and light fire in people's hearts. There is space for that. But there are also those out there that are meant to do. I wasn't an orator. I wasn't a slick talker and all that other shit. Y'all know I ain't no slick talker. You know what I'm saying? I'm not no preacher. You know, the words I issued from my mouth come out harshly when they need to. But I'm not one to finesse. I don't have that level of charisma. And that's okay. I understand who I am. I understand my limitations. Yes, Coach Hudson, let them know. They can hit the like button. But like I said, the guy, he was sort of like the leader of the group, but he was bumping heads with a sister who felt like, you know, a woman should be able to be in charge. And of course that creates problems, right? Well, this agent provocateur came in, saw the weakness and saw where he can get in and start causing problems. And that's exactly what he did. But he didn't really start doing damage until I pulled away. And then I heard stories. The stories I heard, what this dude did, and what they found out he was literally a federal agent, literally. But like I said, the group I was with, we were organized to a degree, but they wasn't busting a motherfucking grape at all whatsoever. They were just talking. They were just talking. They were just doing spoken word. They were, you know, handing out books and selling t-shirts. They were doing all that. The whole shooting match. But nothing beyond that. Nothing, no real organization. They were, they made themselves appear to be militant, but they weren't really militant. And so they allowed this guy to come in, and he dismantled. I mean, there was nothing for anybody to be prosecuted for, because they were, no one did anything. It never got to that level, and never got to the level of anything for the government to be concerned about. But this guy made sure it never got to that level. That's the type of cat Tonka Truck Davis is. Now, when it comes to Bud Crawford, you know, y'all know what happened there, right? Max Kellerman told him he was embracing the villain role. We know that's a bunch of bullshit. We know it's because Canelo has all these Hispanic fans, all these Mexican fans waving their flag. And they're in Vegas, of course, and that's what's going to happen. If you go to Vegas, you have to understand that if a Mexican is fighting a black man in Vegas, the Mexican is going to get the most fans. It doesn't matter. Max Kellerman, obviously, is playing on that dichotomy. He's playing on the dichotomy. He's playing on that. And of course, Bud Crawford has to be the villain. Canelo has to be the hero. Has to be the hero. Now, Terrence Crawford, in my mind, never violated. Terrence Crawford said some silly shit, right? When he called his fight, when he was getting ready to fight Madrimov, and he called the fight he had with Errol urban. I thought that was silly as fuck. Like, nigga, what are you talking about? How can you watch the fight for free? If you have Netflix, you can watch it for free. It's on Netflix. You can watch that shit on Netflix. Now, at first, I didn't think Bud was going to win. All right. I explained that in video in a live stream a few months ago. I gave my position. But as we got closer to the fight, I saw things based on what was going on in both camps that made me change my mind. And I do think that Bud can beat Canelo if he does certain things. If he fights smart the entire fight. The entire fight. It can't just be, oh, at first I'm a fight smart, and then I'm going to go in there and try to stand in the pocket and go toe-to-toe. If you do that, you're going to get fucked up. No, you got to fight smart the entire time. You don't have to engage with Canelo in Canelo's way. You can engage with him in a smart way, using boxing, setting up shots, landing combinations, which I believe he can do at will if he does it the right way and he does it the smart way. He can land on. Why are we just sitting here? Can we move up? He can land on Canelo at will if he so chooses. He has to fight smart. But Max Kellerman did what you would call a dog whistle. If you guys understand what a dog whistle is, if you don't understand what a dog whistle is, it's one of these new terms they use where a racist would basically issue a dog whistle to all the other races by saying something that only they understand is an insult to black folks. It's kind of like calling Bud the villain, because what did Bud do villainous? What did he do that would make one think that Bud was villainous? He didn't do shit. You know, he said at first he said he didn't want to fight Canelo. Canelo said he didn't want to fight him. But when they were both presented with a certain amount of money, it's like, oh, well, shit, okay, we can do this. And that's it. But, yeah, I mean, did they get in each other's faces? Did Bud push him and vice versa and all this other shit? Sure, it's to build the fight. But it can never just be to build the fight. Of course, it's about race. Of course, you have Mexican fans out there and you have Mexican fighters saying, I like Bud, but Canelo needs to knock him out for La Raza, for the Mexican people. La Raza means the race. So it's obviously about race, right? Max Kellerman and his producers understand this. So they're using race to sell the fight because they know Canelo has a huge Mexican fan base, a huge Spanish-speaking Latin fan base, and he's going to paint the picture. You have to come watch this fight, and you have to watch Canelo beat up the villain, your hero. Many of these Latin people are going to be American citizens. It's not just going to be them. It's going to be a lot of white folks are going to be rooting for Canelo to beat Bud. The villain. Canelo is going to be the American hero on the night of Saturday, September 13th, 2025. He's going to be the hero. And the black man is going to be the villain. Even though Canelo is a Spaniard who lives in Mexico. I want you guys to understand that. Canelo probably has zero Aztec or Mayan blood coursing through his veins. I know his cousin. I grew up with his cousin in Los Angeles. Canelo is a Spaniard, y'all. Excuse me. That's why he looks like an Irishman who speaks Spanish. That's why he has freckles and is so pale. Canelo comes from a family of elite class in Mexico. This is what we got going on. Darla Muir says, well, hell, you guys put a white person down. We are equal. I don't think we should mix. You all these Oreos running around. I don't think we should mix either. But guess what? Due to centuries of raping and pillaging that your ancestors have done on this land and other land all around the world to the indigenous folks, there's mixing. It's already there. So go talk to your ancestors about mixing. because they damn sure love to force their mixing on the other groups of people. They couldn't just mind their own business. Oh, look at this land with these interesting looking people. Let me respect their culture and go mind my own fucking business. They couldn't do that. So talk to your ancestors about their incapability of minding their own fucking business and going back to where the fuck they came from instead of fucking with other people. Talk to your ancestors about that. Then we can talk about mixing and not mixing. You don't want mixing? Go back in time and tell all these motherfuckers that came out of Europe in their little ships and landed in these other places and had no respect for the land and for the people. Go back in time and cut their fucking heads off. Don't talk to me about mixing. Y'all people mixed for centuries by force. And now, all of a sudden, now that you think you own everything, own every piece of land that you stepped on because you slaughtered a bunch of people and enslaved the rest, now you want to go back to purity. Now you want to go back to segregation. It don't fucking work like that. My ashes says, how do I give you a $500 Cash App? My info for Cash App is Snap1. $SNAP1. If you're really about that life. Yeah. I know what you're trying to do, though. You're trying to get my full name. It's okay, though. It's okay. What you can do is drop, if you want to drop a super chat, you can go ahead and drop a $500 super chat. Whoever owns the military owns America. Something like that. Yeah, something like that. The bottom line is, everything is about race in this country. Doesn't matter what facet of society you're talking about. Everything is about race. That's how they stay in power. They use race to divide. Do I support transgender for Trump? I don't support Trump, so why should I support that? It is, D. They use race to create division. And everybody falls for it. It's okay, though. That's what they do. This is how they maintain power. That's how they take the attention off of the real enemy and have us focusing on the people that are not. Yeah, it's a distraction. And it's working. Of course. They use it to divide so they can conquer or so that they can maintain control. It's always about race. Of course. It's going to stay that way until the people that are in power are removed from power. Jeff, yes, he did say that, didn't he? Trump did say that jabs are safe and effective. You're absolutely right. He did say that. He also put Operation Warp Speed in place to help get that shit out there, didn't he? The emergency approval. Without the years and years of testing and studies and research on that jab. Man, let's go ahead and put it out there anyway. Anyway. If Jake Paul is indeed using performance enhancing drugs and Tonka Truck fights this guy with that knowledge, with the idea, with that idea in his mind, and he goes ahead with it anyway, that's on him. But I'm not going to go to bat for him. I'm going to say, oops. If Jake Paul lays Tonka Truck Davis the fuck out and then pops dirty, I will not be coming to his defense. I'm going to say, oh, well, you had your N-word moment. See, everybody has one, right? Everybody that coons out. Everybody that goes to the that coons out for the world to see. They have to go through their humiliation ritual and have their N-word moment. It happened to Keyshawn Davis. Right? We know that whole debacle. It happened to Rampage Jackson. Thomas Dillamuth says, Tank needs to just accept what he wanted, and that's being the B-side, and do what Jake Paul says. Exactly. That's another point. Let me raise you up, Thomas. But here, the thing with Tonka Truck is he's never stood on his own in the sport of boxing. Everything was done for him throughout his entire career. Everybody catered to him. Everybody treated him like, you know, he was some elite fighter without having him. Oh, that's your work account? It's all good, brother. It's all good. Everybody treated Tonka Truck Davis like he was an elite fighter, and when he never even demonstrated that he's an elite fighter. And so that's why in this point in time, that can no longer be the case. People are now starting to look at Tank like, what are you doing with your career, bro? What are you doing? What are you doing with this belt? Are you going to unify? Are you going to fight somebody? Amazon ain't going with that shit no more. See, as long as Showtime was around for the PBC to have their way with, well, they could do that. But now that Amazon's like, look, if you ain't fighting nobody, we're not stupid. Oh, you thought because we put out TV shows like The Rings of Power that we don't know shit about the business of boxing? No, you got to fight somebody if you want these tens of millions of dollars per fight. You know, Lamont Roach ain't it. And now he's had a rude awakening. He's had a rude awakening. And being that he decided to defend the racist drug cheat Ryan Garcia instead of standing up for his brother in Islam. Hey, if he dies, he dies, like Drago said, right? Not literally. I don't want the guy to die. I don't want him to die. But I will not be crying tears for him when he gets knocked the fuck out by Jake Paul, like Tyron Woodley did in that second fight. Now, I wanted Tyron Woodley to win, of course. But I found it interesting that when they did their face-off, that he accused Jake Paul of being a drug cheat and decided to fight him anyway. So we have to ask ourselves, is the money worth putting our lives at risk? That's what Tonka Truck should be asking himself. If he has to question whether or not Jake Paul's on performance-enhancing drugs, you have to ask, well, are we doing the due diligence to ensure that he's not on performance-enhancing drugs? Are we calling for rigorous drug testing for this fight? Are they? I haven't heard about any drug testing for this fight. And they might not even be able to get the fight sanctioned in Atlanta anyway. So the fight might not even happen. You saw Tyron Woodley eating Yala's pizza? He probably was. He probably didn't take the fight as seriously as he should have, right? Because the first fight, I mean, it was pretty close. The bottom line is, y'all, I don't want to hear Tonka Truck whining and crying about Jake Paul being on performance enhancing drugs. I really don't give a shit if he is. I really don't care. At this point, when it comes to Tank, it's like, man, you stay over there. You stay over there with those people, and you handle that. Why don't you talk to Ryan Garcia? Go seek some sympathy from him. See if he'll give a fuck if Jake Paul's on drugs. Thomas says, I think they sanctioned the fight to find another venue in another city. We'll know by Wednesday. That's what's up. Wednesday is a New York press conference. Oh, you gonna be there? That's what's up. I gotta make sure I'm subscribed to you, bro. Make sure you drop your link to your channel in the link in your actual boxing channel. Make sure you drop the link to that so they can go check you out. Ryan Garcia got, I know he did. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to get on off of here. I'm not going to belabor the point. But make sure you drop that link, TD. Drop the link to your channel. You betting the house on Bud? That would probably be the smart money. That'd probably be smart. He's the underdog right now. I don't know how much of an underdog he is. TD probably knows that. Kirk got shot. Who's Kirk? Who's Kirk? I don't know that person. Charlie Kirk got shot? Get the fuck out of here. Hold on. Get the fuck out of here. You making shit up now. I don't believe that. What? Holy shit. Holy shit. Charlie Kirk shot at Utah event. Oh, damn. Charlie Kirk was shot at an event in Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Bystander report seeing Kirk shot near his neck. Well, goddamn. Ooh-wee. Near his fucking neck? Charlie Kirk got shot, y'all. I want y'all to be, listen. Wow. I wonder if it's going to turn out. Thomas says, you think Canelo's a slight favorite? Yeah. I mean, it would make sense. Now. Hold on, killer. Yeah, Charlie Kirk got shot. Ooh-wee. I wonder by who. It's interesting that this happens after that Ukrainian young lady got killed by that black dude. What was it? Well, that's interesting. I'm going to have to look into this. I might do a morning paper on this. Yeah, I think I'm going to do a morning paper on this here shooting. I got to do a little more research. Yeah, I see that, TD. Ooh-wee. It was a Turning Point USA event in Utah. I'm very interested. They said that the suspect is in custody. I wonder what that suspect looks like. They might be trying to start something. I don't know. But I'll look at this. I'll look closely at this, y'all. Anyway, thank y'all for coming through and listening to your boy. Thank y'all for hitting the like button. Thank y'all for your commentary. Thank you to my moderators for everything that you guys do in my chat. America, USA, best country in the world, right? See the way he was dressed? The courts decided we can be profiled if we dress that way. I'll look it up. You talking about the guy that killed that Ukrainian woman? I'll look that up. Yeah, y'all just keep your head on a swivel, man. I mean, listen, might be some times ahead, some interesting times ahead. So make sure you guys keep your tools on you and stay stocked with them freedom seeds. All right. So anyway, he had YN apparel. Of course he did. Of course he had YN apparel. But also, from what I understand, according to my brother Trill Will, LDBC or nothing, he was a schizophrenic. So a lot to look into, a lot of research to do. Could be very interesting times ahead. Y'all stay up, man. Protect your children, protect yourselves, and make sure we keep marching forward toward freedom. Peace.